Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee and Conversations. I'm your host for today, Natasha Rogers. Well, from fixing leaky faucets with husbands to go, championing education through Lock and Learn, to spearheading political debates as a Black conservative voice, to dropping gems as the self proclaimed side dude dating coach. He is bold and unapologetic. Please welcome today's guest, the keyword, Joe Lockett. Joe,
What's going on,
yeah, I'm in
Natasha?
your
I
seat.
got, I got Natasha.
I'm in your seat
It's,
today.
it's, it's strange sitting over here.
I know. You notice I did a little decorating.
I see my studio all changed up. I see remnants of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Man, wow, y'all did it up. Okay.
Yeah. This is not your show for
I
today. At
see
least
and
for the
listen,
next 30 minutes.
listen. I am taking my hands off of it. I said, Jesus, take the wheel.
Are
Tasha,
you
take the wheel.
are you sure you're ready for this?
No, I'm not. I had to pray this morning because I know that you're going to be hitting me with some stuff, and you told me to be very transparent today.
I did.
I'm ready for it.
Okay. You sure?
No, but let's do this. I
All
think.
right. Well, let's jump right in.
All right.
In your introduction, I listed several monikers associated with you, except for father.
Mm.
Earlier this year, you reconnected with your daughter, Sabrina, who is 32,
Mm.
and you met your daughter, Selena, who's 22, for the very first time. Joe, how did you become an absentee father?
But just come in with the hard question right off top, right?
Hey, you said you was ready.
Um, mm, I became an absentee father because I had kids when I lived in Japan. I had my first daughter in Japan. My name was Sabrina, first one. I was there. I was in the military. Um, Met with them, me and her mom together. And then, if you want the full story, I was living in Iwakuni.
Hmm.
Mom lived in Hiroshima. Was about an hour away on the train. Um, I changed duty station, right? And I had, when I got her pregnant, I told her that I was going to bring her to my next duty station. Right, that was the game plan.
Mm.
I went to my next duty station a couple of years later, um, and I met another woman,
Mm.
and she was getting ready to move. The mom was, but I fell in love with the woman that I was currently dating in Yokosuka. And so I had to call and tell her that she couldn't come. And because I was stuck between the rock and the hard place and I wasn't in love with her. So
And she had already had your first
she
child.
already had my first child. She already had the child. And the kid
Is
was
your
here.
second child by the same lady?
Yes.
So you're not in love with her. You meet someone else,
Yes.
but it's a like 10-year difference.
Yes.
So how did you revert back?
Um, After the woman that I decided to stay with, I married her.
Mhm.
I got married to her. Um, and then we went through a divorce 10 years later. And before I left Japan, I went to go see my daughter, Sabrina. So Selena was conceived. I didn't know Selena was conceived. I got back to the United States, um, and I was calling, checking on my daughter. And I don't think she wanted to tell me. And then she told me, I have something I need to tell you. And she said, I'm pregnant. And I was like, what? You pregnant? And she had thought about having an abortion, but she said she just couldn't do it when she thought about it. But she said, I know you and you're not here, and I know you're not coming back to Japan. But she asked me, um, are you okay with being her father? And me putting your name on the birth certificate. And I said, of course. Right. Um,
So fast forward because
Sure.
daughters just visited you for the first time here in the United States. Tell us how that happened in terms of how did it feel? Because I'm quite sure they had a lot of questions. How did you handle that?
There is no way to really handle something you haven't done, but be afraid. Because I had screwed up. I knew I was an absentee father. You know, I had one of the best baby moments in the world, right? Um, she took care of my daughters when I was not there. She did everything. I mean, she made a couple of phone calls here and there asking for stuff, but during that time, I was trying to get my stuff together here in the United States of America, trying to get my life together. And I never was the father that I wanted to be. I wanted to go back to Japan. I wanted to go see them, but it just going back there after everything and you need enough money. You need the money to be able to do those things too. And so it was going to take about $5,000, honestly, because I was married at the time. So how am I going to go back to Japan and go stay with my baby mama? That wasn't going to work. My wife at that time, current wife at that time, she wanted, if we go back, I want to go with you. Well, she had a kid. How can I explain that to my two daughters that I'd have moved on from their mama, right?
And raising
somebody else's kid. So I didn't want that to be the first image of my daughter seeing me and then having to introduce to their stepmom. So I kept fighting, saying, you know, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna make it. 10 years back. Right. God finally put me in a position, Tasha. So I could bring my kids here. And I did. And I'll say this here. It's the best feeling. If that's what an absentee dad feels like, damn it, I'm okay with it. Because when they came off that airplane, I knew they were mine. I had never had somebody, I had never had my own kids call me dad. I've had somebody that said Joe or dad or whatever, but it wasn't my own. But when they got off that airplane and they walked down Fred Shuttlesworth, and Sabrina said, Papa, and Selena said, Papa, and we just hugged each other and started crying, right? It's like I never was not there. They didn't make me feel no resentment. They had no remorse. We had the tough conversations, Natasha. And Selena, that I had never met before, and I was telling her I'm sorry. She's like, Dad, stop saying that. You was always there. Mama never talked bad about you. Never. She said you was always there. You just wasn't in my presence. I couldn't see you all the time, but you was always there. I have no ill will against you. Y'all don't know, listen to this show, what that feels like. Because it was a weight.
lifted.
I think it was lifted, but it was something, Tasha, that like I got a chance to say what I wanted to say. And I was prepared for the worst, right? I had prepared myself for the worst. But when I say God is good and you got good in your heart, Tasha, and to all the fathers that listen to the show, man, it's never too late.
And that was going to be a follow-up question for you. What would you say to mothers and fathers who are distant now from their children? What first steps should they take to try to rebuild the trust and reconnect?
Number one, be truthful to your kids and let them you reach out to them, but allow them to connect how they want to connect, not how you want them to connect. Don't try to rush the relationship. Don't try to sugarcoat what happened. Let them ask the question. Let them build a relationship the way they need to be, and open up the door, open the line to them. Even if they don't want to talk to you, but they give you their phone number, wish them a Merry Christmas, wish them a happy birthday. If they got grandbabies, send them something. Right? Do the little small thing, and because you screwed up, and however they want to build that relationship, they need to feel that they're in control to build that relationship, and not you trying to come in and trying to be Superman dad now because you wasn't there when somebody else was.
Right.
I mean, so I would tell anybody right now, man, do the small things and let God take care of the rest. If it's meant to be, it will happen. If not, that's just the cross you got to bear for the rest of your life. You screwed up.
Well, switching gears just a little bit, approximately 7 years ago, you found yourself wifeless, broke, and homeless. Now, for
Damn, you're
some,
gonna put all my business out there. Woo. Good God. Let me grab my coffee here. Okay.
and we
And
live.
she laughing. And she laughing about it. She's laughing at my pain. Good God.
No, that's so bad. This is what happened when you get your friends to interview you.
And she's still laughing, America.
That just hit. You was wifeless, broke, and homeless.
Damn.
So
Karma is a mother, y'all. Let me tell you, don't do people wrong. Good God.
in all seriousness,
Mhm.
how did you bounce back from divorce?
So, okay, so which part of the story you want? The divorce or the bounce back?
Both.
Okay.
We have time.
Well, do we?
Mhm.
Okay. So, I was married for 7 years, with her for 10. And nobody gets married wanting a divorce or thinking divorce, right? And everything was going good, right? Until 7 years later. I think they call it like the 7-year itch or the 5 years and then a 7-year window, something like that. My then wife came home one day and said she wanted a divorce. Now, one thing I know now, that when a woman says she wanted a divorce, she had divorced you already months back, maybe even a year or so ago. I missed all the signs. And when I talk about this, Tasha, I want to say to anybody listening, this is in no way negative toward my ex-wife. She was a great person, right? She's a beautiful woman. I was in love with her, right? And we had our season. I can only talk about what I did to break the marriage.
Right.
And that's all I would ever talk about here in public. I had the idea of being a really great husband, like I had like of being a really great father. Okay. But things don't always go as planned, right? And so the wonderful woman that I married, right, had seen the potential in everything in this guy that wants to be this successful businessman, entrepreneur. I had things in place.
Right.
We were building, but being an entrepreneur, you go through your ups and downs. I knew how to provide, and get out there and work. Nobody had never said I sit on the couch and did nothing. I was always working, but it was never enough money at the end of the month, right? And at some point, you make a promise to a woman that you love that you're going to provide and take care of her, and she's providing and taking care of you more than you are taking care of her. Right. And you keep making promises that you keep breaking. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pay you back and do this. And at some point, women get to the point like, well, damn.
Right.
Right. And me being the egotistical as I was, and still is to a point, you don't have to agree, but I looked at it like, you're my wife, you get it, you'll understand. Right. You should. Right. It's the environment I grew up in, right? Dad go out there and provide, he working, mama gonna be there, mama ain't going nowhere, mama in the kitchen cooking, you know what I mean? Not that in my ex-wife, because she wasn't that person, but I didn't think she was going anywhere, because I'm not out there cheating, not doing anything. I'm just trying to get to my dream. But one thing I would say to people, don't lie to your wife. Now, it wasn't an intentional lie. Please understand. I was not an intentional lie. My intent was always good, but intent don't mean a damn thing in time. Right? When time hits and you keep coming up with the same story, it becomes a lie to her. Right? And I think that there started the chink in the armor of my marriage. And then it goes to, I'm not spending time as a husband,
right,
with my wife, my then wife. And so when she would say things like, let's go do this or let's go do that, this is the rub for men. You don't have the money to do it. She's saying she'll pay for it, but you don't want her to pay for it because later on in the argument, it's going to come back, you're going to hear about it. right?
Mhm.
So it's a not between a rock and a hard place.
Right.
What did you do? Some of the things I did, some of the things I did, right? But still, when you're trying to get in the midst of what that is, your wife is calling out to you that I need these things in my life. And it will really was my responsibility to provide those things at some point. Because when she's saying I'm paying, what she's saying is I pay this time, but this is what I want to do for us. And I need you to figure it out. I didn't get that at that. I looked at it as I ain't got the money. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So on and so on. It was my pride. It was my pride. So I missed a lot of stuff in my marriage. This was my second marriage. But I missed a lot of stuff that I thought I was gonna get right in my second marriage. I'm thinking like I got it this time. I'm gonna be a better man. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna do none of this stuff right. I did great on that part, gosh. Right. But there was some other stuff that I just did not know.
Joe, I'm not gonna let you get away with this. So you said many times before that you cheated on your wife with your dream.
Yes.
Looking back, was it worth it?
Yes.
How so? I mean, because it did leave you wifeless, broke, and homeless. Yeah.
I don't want to sound really mean when I say this, but you say, I told you I'd be transparent. I don't give a damn about none of that. My dream never cheated on me. My dream never left me. My dream says, here, just come get me. If you left me because you stopped believing in me, you got off my train, that's your loss, not mine. No point intended at anybody, but that's the way I feel. That's how I am. That's how I got here. Because again, if I didn't chase my dream, I'm still dependent on you. And when I got a divorce, that's why my ass ended up where I was, because I'm trying to do the right thing for the family, right? And at the end of the day, I had nothing in reserve for myself. Nothing.
Because women, we keep our rainy day fund. Yeah. But you don't ever hear men saying, "Well, I'm gonna tuck this away just in case this doesn't work out."
It was nothing to tuck away. Whatever I had, whatever I could do, and I think I should have done more. Don't get me wrong. Please understand, people. I am not here to disparage my ex. I should have got a steady job or something to make sure I was helping her out more. She was carrying a load on a lot of things. Okay, when it came to my radio show, when it came to bills, she was carrying a lot of things. Right. When my business was coming up short. That's why I say, for that, man, kudos to my ex-wife, because she didn't have to go do that. Again, this is no disparagement to my ex. She's a wonderful person. I'm sure she's a wonderful mom and doing wonderful things with her husband. I'm happy for her, right? But this is my story. I could have been better. These are things I didn't do as a man, right? Because I've always told you, I chose her. So why would I sit out here and talk bad about my ex-wife? No, I screwed up too. If she ever want to tell her side of the story about what she did right or wrong, that's on her. But you would never hear come out of my mouth anything bad about the woman that I fell in love with at one point in time.
Right. So what wisdom would you share with men who may be walking down that same path?
That's just way he's coughing.
I see.
But go ahead.
It's going to blend in.
No, I had to wipe it off. Hold on, let me make sure. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. But what was the question again?
Yeah, what wisdom would you share with other men that may be walking down that same path towards divorce?
My ex-wife asked me to go to therapy. Right? I said, for what? She said, we need it. My exact words to her was, no, you need it. Right? I don't need nobody to tell me what I can tell you. Right? That was my words to her. I don't need anybody to tell me what, you know what I'm saying? Me and you can have a conversation. Why I need to sit down and tell somebody else whatever I need to say, what I'm gonna say to him, I'll say to your ass too. That's what I said. It's the way I put it, right? I said, so what I need to sit in somebody's office and listen to that for? I said, I'm not going. Now, this is with the pressure that I already had on me. But my ex at the time, when I sit back and look at it now, Tasha, she was screaming and reaching out, trying to fix the hole that she had. The therapist wasn't really for me. It was for her. because of who I am and how I would cut you off or say my part or say my point. She couldn't get a word in edgewise for me to hear her. The therapist would allow me possibly to hear them, or I would have walked out.
Right.
Right. I wasn't ready at the time to hear therapists. Like, black men don't therapy. What? I don't need no damn therapy. Right. That's like I was saying practice. Right. What we talking about practice? We talking about therapy. You can talk to me. I don't need to talk to nobody. Why am I telling somebody else my problem? I don't want nobody else to know my damn problem anyway. So why am I gonna sit here? And I would say to men, get off your ego if you love your wife, you love your family. Even if you don't want to do it for her, if you love her, right? Go through the process and see what it is. At least try. I didn't even give it a try. I threw it clean up the damn window and said, that's it. And then when I did that, I pretty much probably threw my marriage out the window too.
Right.
Along with, every other stuff. So I would tell people, first and foremost, listen to your wife. And don't be afraid. This is tough, Tasha. Don't be afraid to tell your family, I don't know.
You don't have to wear that cape.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this, or I need your help. Women need to not use that against him and call him weak and throw it back in his face now. Go ahead. I know you want to say something.
Well, I get that a lot. I can't believe I said that, but I get that a lot. Oftentimes, we don't even know we're throwing it back up in your face. Mm-hmm. So I don't,
But again, that's why men don't want to be vulnerable, because women has a tendency that when we're vulnerable in their angry moment, you're going to throw it in my face, right? And I'm going to shit down on you and hold it against you even more now, because now you're hurting me with what I told you because I trusted you. See, if you tell me something, you don't want to hear in an argument.
Right.
And most men won't do that because they know that's a line you just don't cross with your wife. If she gave you something, if she told you that she have alopecia, you don't get mad at her and bring it up in the middle of an argument. You see what I'm saying? So, but women mess around and tell them that, you got something going on or something happened in your life or this didn't happen. You're a little blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And they say it, but you laugh, but it's true. Yeah. And ladies, honestly, this is where you shut us off, right? And I can't tell men to do it. I just say you have to know your mate.
Yeah.
And knowing if she's worth it or not for that person, for you to do it for. Because when you kill a man's ego, you kill the man. I hope people understand what I just said.
Yeah.
When you kill a man's ego, what makes him get up and go, you kill the man. So you might as well go ahead and divorce him, because he ain't gonna be nothing after that.
True.
Because he ain't gonna want to fool with you.
Shut down.
I'm shutting down because you're the closest thing to me besides my mama. If you hurt me, I have no armor anymore. You're no longer my protection, right?
Safe space.
If I can't be safe in my own home, what am I doing all this for?
For the men, I did that too. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
It is what it is. Let's move forward a little bit.
Sure.
Joe, some people might mistake your discipline in caring for your body as vanity because they really don't know your backstory. How did watching your mother suffer from domestic violence shape your relationship with strength training?
A lot. A lot. I wanted to hurt my dad. Because nobody wants to see their mom be hit or touched by their father. So my thought pattern was, it was two things. I was being bullied in school, which my dad did help me with that situation. So he wasn't a horrible father. He was a bad husband, in my opinion. And I said what I said. So I started from being bullied. But then as I started to see what was going on with my mom, I wanted to get big enough to kick his ass. Right. Because again, no one wants to see their mom crying at the hands of their father. And we saw that way too often, right, in our family. And then it just became a lifestyle. Um, because I started getting attention from the ladies and stuff like that. And so I went into the military and I started to realize that, physical fitness is one of the big things. So if you're physically fit, you know, you're looked at better in the military, you go farther, you get promotions and stuff like that.
Right.
And it just built, and as I went into bodybuilding and powerlifting and all that stuff. And women love a man that's in shape. You know what I mean? They look good, got a nice little chest and abs, nice sweep on the legs. So the vanity part there, but it all started from a dark place. I think I shared this with you that even now when I'm working out, especially in the earlier days of my life, when I wanted to get past, when I'm in there working out really hard, my motivation was seeing him do what he did to my mom will make me run faster, make me get stronger. I used that as motivation to get bigger.
Did y'all ever come to blows?
That's a story for a different day. It never came to blows, never. But it did almost come to a situation where I could have lost my life.
Well, I'm interested now by you witnessing the abuse your mother suffered. How has that shaped the way you treat and interact with women?
Well, that's a loaded question, Tasha. If you would have asked me this probably a couple of years or 10 years ago, I would have said it didn't. But I think as you get older and you sit back and look at your life, you don't realize, and this is what, if men or women, if you're going through domestic violence, I want you to really think about what you're doing to your kids, right? Because in the Black families, especially, I can't speak for anybody, but I know in Black families, we tend to think that it's a family secret.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right? And it don't affect anybody. I don't think parents of that generation think about what they did, how it affected their kids. They only think about how it made them look or people found out. But they don't think about, because they would say, this is my business. It's not your business if you do it in front of your kids. It's not your business if it's affecting your kids on how they do certain things, how they live. See, what my parents did not realize is, and I'm not blaming them for my life. They had nothing to do with that. I made all the choices. But I didn't know how to love. How do you know how to love? I knew how to provide. I never saw my mama get loved. There's a difference. See, with men, we all listen. Just because you provide a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and food on the table, that ain't love. Your ass is getting a piece of all of that stuff. You providing for yourself, and your family happen to be the byproduct of that. Love is the small things you do. That's the other part of a husband, right? Love is loving your family, loving your wife, doing special things for her, taking her out to dinners, surprising her, giving her birthday parties, buying her clothes, taking her on trips, right? I didn't see any of that growing up.
Right.
All I heard when I was growing up was the roof over your head, clothes on the table, food on your back. What more do you want? And in my mind, right, you got a good dad. And yes, I had a great father. I had a horrible example of what a husband should be to his wife from my father.
Did you watching your mother suffer abuse, did it change your feelings towards your mother? Were you maybe a little more disrespectful?
Tasha. I would say in the beginning, I felt sorry for my mom, right? Because I wanted to help her. But I think over time, you get to the point and understand that that's what she wants. Don't take that the wrong way, y'all. But she chose this life. She's not leaving. It's not my responsibility to try to pull her away from that, because she's going to go back. So whatever that is for them, I had to understand that that's what that's going to be. And it took me a while, but I had to come to grips with that's what that is. And I have to live my own life. right? So did it change my perspective on my mom? Yeah, it did. It did. Unfortunately, I love her. She's still my mom, but sometimes you have to realize even this is the tougher thing. Sometimes even with your parents, there's a season. There's a season sometimes. And I know people say honor your mother and father so the days may be long, but I would say this too, that you can honor them, but if you're being disrespected or you feel it's only one way love that's coming and it becomes a toxic situation where your life is in danger, why would you be a part of that? Right? Just to say that I stayed around my parents for the rest of their life. No. At some point you have to have common sense too, right? And let God handle it. As I said, Jesus take the wheel, let Jesus take the wheel. You know what I mean? So however people feel about my story is my story. However people see that, this is how they see it, but this is the way I see it.
Now for my first question. You ready to start the interview?
Oh, damn. All right then. Okay, so this is warm up.
Yeah. That was the pregame.
Okay, cool. So how did I do?
I was tearing up a little bit because I can relate to the domestic violence story.
Really?
Yeah, I watched my mom suffer from domestic violence, and I see when I'm in relationships, I tend to run, and that's because my mom would pack up and we'll move and we'll go back, pack up, and it just kept going there, and I end up resenting my mom for a while because I'm like, we keep going back, you keep, going through this, and so I could relate.
And I don't think I really answered your question fully about did it affect my relationship. I think it affected my relationship of knowing the essence of love. I didn't know how to love any of my wives, the two that I had. I didn't know what love was, right? Because I just thought if you're a good guy and you did, and it was stupid of me. But you can sometimes only when you get into a relationship, it's either about let's wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna do something really good. I'm gonna be a faithful guy, blah blah blah. You're not thinking about the little other small nuance stuff. Not that it was their responsibility to teach me, but that's the first concept of love that I had in my life. You see what I'm saying? Other than that, you see the little stuff on TV, but what love looked like, I saw that. I didn't want to implement him. One thing I vowed in my life was I would never be him. I would never hit a woman. I don't care how mad I get. I would never touch a woman. And to this day, I've never laid my hands on a woman. No matter what the situation is, I would never do that because I saw what it did to my mom, right? And I've always told my daughters the same thing, right? I don't care what it is. Don't provoke a man, but never let a man lay his hands on you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So did it affect me? Yeah, it affected me, but I take full responsibility how I allowed it to affect me. I'm not going to blame my parents for my actions. My marriages, my decisions, everything I did, I take full responsibility for me. Okay. I'm a grown ass man. I don't need to be saying, well, if they would have done this, they did the best they could.
Right.
Somewhere along the line, their life got screwed up. Right. I don't know what that was. Right. Nobody says, nobody knows. Right. So it's not my business. But they keep going back, keep going through that cycle for whatever reason they went through. Right. They never took the time to explain it to us. They just showed it to us and passed it down to us, but we have to live with it.
Right.
I chose to say no more, but I'm not going to blame them for the choices that I made because when I become a grown man, I'm a grown ass man. I need to make better decisions, right, and figure this thing out. So I don't want anybody thinking about this. Whoever knows, my parents will say, "Well, he blamed." No, I don't blame no damn body. Right. I'm a grown man. The decisions I made with my daughters, their mom, my two wives, that's all on me. 1,000% on me, and I just need to do a better job. And God has given me grace.
And you just mentioned those watching your mother suffer from domestic violence, 2 failed marriages, and then the relationship with your daughters. Are you now, given your past, ready for love? Do you see yourself actually giving yourself to a lady? Like with your past, that's a lot.
No. I'm going to cheat on her with my business again.
You had learned.
I have learned, but what I have learned is to tell the truth. That until I'm content and happy with what Joe Lockett needs, Don't drag nobody else's daughter through my midst. Be upfront, put it all out on the table. This is what I'm doing. This is where I am. This is what you're going to get, right? There is no change for me at 55, right? Either you're alone for this ride or you're not. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for some type of lovey-dovey commitment, I ain't your guy. If you're looking for the guy that's going to do all this stuff and be thinking about trying to, make you happy and ooh you and woo you, I'm not going to do this. I'm just being honest at this point. When I'm finished with the task that I want to do and the legacy I need to build for my daughter, because I'm making up for lost time. The most important thing to me right now is them two. Them two sitting right there, my babies.
How would you define legacy?
When I look back and I know that at least one or two generations of my immediate family members, that's part of I call my friends, you and everybody else, when I know that our families, right, for a couple of generations is going to be okay. And I had a big part of it in making sure that we are, the things I talk about, paying off mortgages, making sure everybody got a certain amount of money in their banks. Those are the things now that I understand that's most important. I've had love. I screwed the hell up. I've been married. I've done that. Been there, done that. Got the t-shirt. I don't need to be married again. I'm not close to being married again. But I think God got me here for a bigger purpose. And he's positioned me to do everything that I asked for. So I'm running and chasing down the thing that I didn't finish. And he's showing me signs that if you keep doing this, right, you're going to be okay. You have to put this big dream. This is what you got to go do. The first big thing that he showed me that when I was able to pay for the plane tickets for my daughters to come here, be truly transparent. My baby mom is coming here with the daughters next year.
Now, look, don't get another baby here. Speaking of which, recently on social media, you opened up about your third leg.
So I probably can't do it anyway.
I don't know. You messing with Dr. Mia Cow. She might have you ready.
Yeah.
What inspired you to be so candid about that topic?
Now, that's easy to talk about. I think too many men don't talk about it. And I had people, even before I put the post out, when I was talking to different guys about it, yeah, man, I don't know. And the people, men were talking about what they were doing and what they was thinking. But nobody ever was out saying that this is what they was going through. But if I found something, I tell this guy, oh man, I appreciate that, right? Or if I found this, right, we'll talk about it. But nobody was actually out like, okay, what the hell is going on after? For me, it started happening right at the end of 54, the beginning of 55. Mm-hmm. Right. The soldier was soldiering, but my boy like, bro, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't no limit no
he
more.
Was doing this before. He was saluting before, then he was doing like this, Tasha. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't, and again, it scares you because it happens. Like, and most time it happened in the most inopportune moment, right? In that moment, right? And you sitting there like, what's going on? And this is the thing, me and y'all gonna laugh because you know what I'm talking about. Then you panic. And when you panic,
want to blame the female. It's your fault. No, your stuff not working.
When you panic, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? The thrill is gone at that point. Mm-hmm. And it ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do that day to get it back, right? And that happened once or twice for me, right? And I had to realize, okay, something's wrong here. Because when it first happened, you think like, okay, maybe I didn't eat right, maybe I'm not sleeping right, maybe something because I'm, trying to take care of my body. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that, okay, there's an issue here. And so you start thinking about, okay, Viagra, Cialis and all that other good stuff. And again, God works in mysterious ways. I had Dr. Mia and her husband on my show. Because my friend Joy, she'd been on the pellets for a long time, right? And she had told me about them about 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't need that stuff, right? So I forgot about Dr. Mia. Her and her husband came on my show, and I was bringing them on for marriage, and they started telling me about, the different stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's called anthropause, I think it is. Women have menopause, and men have, I think it's called anthropause. Don't quote me on that, but something so with A and pause at the end. Okay. But I set an appointment. Right. And I went in and I put it out there on social media and they took my blood work, came back. Everything was good. But my blood count, my T count, my testosterone level count was 350, and it's supposed to be 800 to 1,000. So I'm like, boy, you don't like support. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, man. Thank you, my dog. You know what I'm saying? He was rolling with me, but I was like, wow. But it wasn't nothing that I did. Just after a certain, and this is what men need to know. After a certain period of time, your body stopped producing testosterone because you no longer need it. But when your body stops producing testosterone, it gets you irritated. You can lose sleep, start to gain weight. It's other things that goes along with it. Because once I spoke to one of Dr. Neal, right, strength, my thickness of body being a lot more full, my alertness, the brain fog was going away. I was more alert on a lot of things. So Viagra and Cialis only helps you for 24 to what, maybe 36, maybe 40 hours, maybe. But this here is on demand, you know, because you take the pellets or you get to whatever you do. With me, it's pellets. You put the pellets in you and you work on demand. They ain't know you got to take the pill, you know what I'm saying? You don't miss out. Or she don't come over that night and you just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? No, she just said, I can't come next something happen. You just sitting there with you and your boy. Y'all looking at each other. You know what I'm saying? With the pellets, it's natural. You know what I'm saying? And it's a natural feel. So
and you feel better.
And you feel a whole the byproduct of taking the testosterone is a good thing for me. Now I've got to tell everybody because everybody have different, you know, because when I put on my post, people inbox, well, man, I did this and did this. Again, I'm telling y'all my story. I'm telling y'all one thing y'all need to do, men, if you're over 50, go to Dr. Mill, right? And go to mebellawellness.com, right? And they're not paying me to do this, but I'm telling you.
I was about to say, in this portion of the interview, it's sponsored by
we can say
Bella Wellness Center.
And we can say that.
Well.
Yes, but and we can say that because I love them, right? I love them, so I don't mind getting a free promotion on the show. Go there and go get your blood work done and see where your T count is, right? And then you can figure out, because if your T count low, let me tell y'all, ginseng, food, exercise is only going to bring you up. You know what I'm saying? It's only going to bring you up just a tad bit, man. For you to be able to perform at a high level like you really want to, you're going to need some kind of help because your body is not producing that. Right now, some people say that you can do it through other things. If you can, by all means, go through it. I've been through almost everything out there before I started to see Dr. Mill, right? And with Dr. Mill and her team, I would definitely have to say that, you know, we ready to put that work in now.
Okay, good. So I wonder why my call stopped, because you would call me at the 10 o'clock hour, and I'm like, what do you want?
But you didn't answer me.
And clear. Why? I mean, you know, your T count was what? What I answering?
But you can answer now though.
I'm not gonna answer now.
You don't want to answer. Hey,
no, thanks.
Hey, we've been having a nation for a while. You know what I'm saying?
So now for my first question.
Sure.
So who really is Joe Lockett when you are not in front of this camera or logged on to social media? Who is he really?
I am the guy that you see. I'm just quiet. I'm constantly working on scaling, looking at and critiquing what's the next move, what's going right, what's going wrong, and trying to enjoy life a little bit in between, not too much. Because being a single man, being able to do what you want, being successful, the fruit life is good if you want it to be, right? But I don't want to get caught up in that. Because I did that when I was young, and I know what that brings at the end of the day. It's not going to bring me my dream.
Right.
So now it's making sure that as a grown man and more mature, to stay humble, even more consistent. And now it's like a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, you know, type thing. It's like work on your footwork. You know what I'm saying? Dot your I's, cross your T's, put the right people in place. Now, Clarissa Kenty, I was on her show the other day, and she called me the GOAT, right? And no one had ever called me the GOAT before, right? And she was like, "You're the GOAT of what you do." Like she said, "Joe, you know how to be a pivot every time something changed. You pivoted, you took it to another level, and you came back even stronger." And I didn't realize that. I didn't think about it in that way. But she said, "No, Joe, you're the GOAT." Right. And I was like, wow, what a title for somebody to give you, right?
Right.
Because you never know how,
especially from her. Yeah.
Right.
She's good.
And for somebody to say that, I know she didn't say that lightly. But I think for me is you got to get better each and every time when you're doing something. Just because you're good at it, that don't mean you're the best at it. And when it's all said and done, when it comes to my network Lockett in media, when it comes to Coffees and Conversations, when it comes to Joe Lockett 101, when it comes to Joe Lockett himself, I want to make sure that when my daughters, when you, when nephew and uncle and Melva and George see me, he was one of the best to ever do it.
And on that, I'm going to end, but I do have one final question.
Sure.
You. What's freedom to you?
Freedom. You're making me think now. Ema, right now. I'm free. I think right now I would say I'm free of everything. I live my life the way I want to. I'm successful. My daughters love me. My friends love me. I got disposable income to go things to do the things I want to be able to do now. I have my own home, a car. My business is thriving. Shit, right now, I'm free. I'm sitting here in the guest chair with my friend interviewing me. I got uncle and nephew sitting out there and people watching the show today. I got people around the world watching me this morning. How much freer do you want? I mean, this is I'm living a dream, man. It ain't a dream that I pictured for myself, but I'm living the dream. Because one thing I realized is the things you say out your mouth, the things you write down, actually becomes true. And on my vision board, I never put I wanted to be a married man successful. I always said a successful person. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be successful. None of my boys, when I went back and looked at them, never said a successful husband. And guess what the hell I've always screwed up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I'm free now.
Joe, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
All right. So at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to your host. Thank you so much for coming on to Coffee and Conversations. We're going to now find out what's next for Lockett in Media. So I'm going to turn it over to your regular host, Joe Lockett.
Get it back to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not paying me. Like, shoot, this I did. How long I've been on? How long we been?
I have no idea. I would say for Lockett in Media, thanks to everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Share the interview out there. I hope that part of my story, end of my story, will help you out. Please understand that anybody who sees this, it was never meant for anything to hurt anybody. But I think sometimes it's time to be unapologetic and no more secrets. Tell your truth, right, and live your truth. And anything I said, I can take a lie to take the test on what I said and stand by it 1,000%. What's next for Lockett in Media? We are now building the network itself, America, where we're doing different shows. So when you guys see LIM out there, it's Lockett in Media Network, which means that we're putting on different podcasts, different game shows, and even so soon you can be seeing different skits coming out on that network. So when you're watching TV, it's when you're watching TV. When you watch our network, you'll be able to see your favorite shows from some of your favorite people that you want to be able to watch. That's the big scalable goal. People say don't tell your goals, but I'm gonna put it out there to you guys. Coffees and Conversations, right? Y'all seen it. Y'all have grown the show with me. I appreciate that. This show now is the mature Joe Lockett, the grown man Joe Lockett, where I sit down and interview interesting people. And the show is really about empowering women. And I wanted Tasha didn't know this, but I want to let her know now. She's the first coffee queen of the show.
Okay.
And there are certain things going to be coming with that. We're building this audience with women because this show here is something that I want to do because of what I've seen in my life to make sure that I'm a part of the solution of empowering women and not the problem. So y'all gonna see some exciting guests coming up on the show for that. With Joe Lockett 101, people always say what that show is. That show is for celebrities, politicians, and CEOs. When they have a story to tell, that they want to come to Joe Lockett and I sit down and I'm going to ask them the tough questions unfiltered so they can get their story out without any spin. Like y'all seen I did with Representative Gavan, even though she didn't win the race, but you can go back and say, and everybody told me that I gave her a great interview. There was no spin. That's what that platform was about. So you're not going to see that platform a weekly or monthly. It's only when it's time for someone to sit down and they trust me. I am the guy that is not going to BS you, not going to lie to you. I want to thank everybody out there, honestly, for all the support over the years, from the different changes that I've done. I owe huge thanks out to Natasha Rogers. She saved me years ago. She know the story. Uncle Boz, Melva Tate, Comedian Joy. They were my rocks in the beginning. And if it wasn't for them, I would not be Joe Lockett I am today. And I owe them so much. Call for broadcasting. I've said to you guys, thank you guys so much for everything you've done. But I would say to anybody else, and my nephew now who's here working with me, I appreciate him because what we've grown in the last 2 years, I couldn't have not done this as fast. So he's definitely an integral part of this business. And he's part owner in the company now. So I'm proud of everything he's doing. If I didn't call your name out, charge it to my head, not my heart. But I want to say this to everybody here. Thank you for 12 years for standing by your boy, right? Good, bad, ugly, and different to challenge me. Political radio, you didn't like me sometimes. Mentoring camps, you guys bring your kids out to me still. And you were there. I appreciate that. I never forget that. And I'm always going to give back to my community. I'm always going to be a helping hand here for everybody. And man, if y'all think y'all seen the first 12 years, what that was going to be, get ready for the next 12. I love y'all. Y'all have a good day.